Hello and welcome to an exhibition match of the Observe channel. We have Observe's very own Nom spawning as the pale pink Terran in the upper left corner, and we have Love, the purple Zerg, spawning in the lower right hand corner. Both of these players are very high level. I believe both players are Diamond. Love may be Master now, although I believe he was Diamond at the time. This is once again an exhibition match on the Observe channel, and I am Soup. I'm going to be recasting this game for you. So, a little bit of background. Terran is the main race of Nom, and Love is a Zerg player. But once again, both very high level players, so it should be an interesting game. This is a very large map, which can favor Zerg depending on the macro, but Zerg is just such a fast and mobile race that often we see there being a lot of good macro games on large maps from Zerg players. We see both players pushing out to scout here a little bit. Nom pushing out with his SCV. Overlord's moving out for Love. This is fairly standard, although on such a large map it could take quite a while to scout. So we're seeing slightly early scouting. Barracks goes down for Nom at the 2-minute mark as he's blocking off his main here. Decided not to go for the directly blocking off the natural expansion. Just going to try and hold on to his main for now. We see the gas going down as well as the spawning pool going down for our Zerg player. Should be finishing up right around 3-minute mark for Love, as we see very standard openings from both players. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. Spawning pool finishing up just after 3 minutes for our Zerg player Love, as Nom finally scouts his opponent. Now knowing the location of the Zerg player, he will see the spawning pool in the one gas. Knows the Zerg is still on one base, although it's very early in the game. Excuse me. Orbital command being completed for Nom as he's calling down his first mule and grabbing his first gas. First Marine is out for Nom, second one on the way, as we see Love finally chasing off our Terran scout. Nom trying to delay this expansion as long as he possibly can, keeping that drone busy, even throwing down an engineering bay to try and keep this expansion from going down. We have a second command center, early second command center, one Rax command for Nom, which is gutsy play at this point. Feeling confident after delaying this expansion, although he only has delayed it for a little while. That's so essential. Going to give him the slight edge here, as now he's throwing down a factory, knowing the Zerg player is playing a little bit of catch up, seeing as his expansion is behind. Spinecrawler down at the front of the main for our Zerg player, making sure he has his defenses up against any sort of early pressure, any sort of harass play that might be coming from Nom. But it looks like Nom can tend to sit back, and looks like we may be seeing some mech play. Double factories going down, and that command center finishing up here in a minute. Going to finish before the Zerg expansion, but it still needs to fly to the natural. Our Zerg player still unaware of the Terran base or where exactly it is. Should be scouting it in a second. There we go. He's moving up to scout it. So a little bit of a late scout for our Zerg player, although he will see the double factories. Not the fast expansion, however, though. So Love saying factories make me sad face, as he probably is anticipating some pretty heavy Hellion play here in the beginning. Hellion's so good against Zerg early units, just roasting away Zerglings as if they're nothing. Engineering Bay going down for Nom Nom as he looks to be getting some upgrades. We have a Roach Warren out for our Zerg player, possibly to counteract Roaches being very strong against most of the early weaker units of Terran. Second base fully up but not saturated, not even close there. We've got a couple idle drones just hanging out for Love as he's pushing out with a group of Zerglings out across the map, going to try and get some map control and maybe test the front door of Nom Nom. We see Nom Nom having several Hellions and a handful of Marines, but this push could be problematic if Nom Nom was caught out of position. Love deciding to pull back, not feeling confident enough, as Nom Nom takes his front door and is throwing down some barracks to sort of seal off a wall here. These Zerglings running into danger here, managing to escape with their lives. Fortunately, none of them falling. A handful of roaches as well being made for our Zerg player Love, as he has completed lair tech. He also has a baling nest on the field, and it looks as though research being done. 9 balings being made, so look to see some baling play. Baling Roach could be fairly effective against the combination that we see from Nom Nom right now. Balings being completed, so now this could be dangerous for Nom Nom if he's not careful. Baling Roach will just absolutely demolish these Marines. Nom Nom pushing out, taking the Zelnaga watchtowers, trying to get a little bit of vision, see what's coming from his opponent, as he now has 2 bases fully up. Some preventative measures, missile turrets going down for Nom Nom, making sure he's not too vulnerable to any sort of muta or muta harass, because that can be absolutely devastating to Terran economy. Nom Nom working his way around the back side of his opponent's natural, going to check and see if Love has his third yet. He does not. Scouting ahead with this scan, he sees the balings, sees the roaches, decides not to engage, pulls back. Probably a wise move, as those roaches and balings and now hydras could really prove problematic for this small force we see from Nom Nom. Nom Nom falling back across the center of the map, knowing he needs a stronger force if he's going to engage. Tons of Hellions and a single lone Marauder out on the field for Nom Nom back at his main. As we see Nom Nom doing some rearranging of buildings here, getting a second tech lab down to get some of those upgrades out faster. Both players doing a fairly good job with their research, although we see Nom Nom being much more active in terms of his macro building and researching, while as we just see almost nothing in the production tab for Love. Love being a little bit tentative, it seems. Just having seen the Terran in and out of his base, he doesn't seem quite confident pushing out yet, which as a Zerg player, Zergs usually need to be aggressive, gain map control, but at this point it's just sitting back and macroing